Welcome to Little Home Projects. In this video, I rent and use a jackhammer for the very first time. This wall is about 15 feet long, 2 feet deep, about 6 inches thick. We're going to try and take it right up to the garden shed and use the rubble under the shed as we're building the floor. Because we live in Vancouver, we decided to set up this tent because it's always raining. We can't get any work done in the yard in the spring. We don't want to be in the rain, so now we can continue on this foundation. Because this is the first time I've used a jackhammer, I wanted to make sure I took the proper safety steps. I picked up some earplugs for hearing protection, made sure to wear gloves, and also had eye protection in the form of safety glasses. Right off the bat, I had a bit of trouble with the jackhammer. I didn't know how to get it off the stand. Everything seemed loose, everything seemed like it should have come off, but nothing was moving. And what it is, there's a little toe kick out on the bottom of the jackhammer that I guess in this rental unit didn't have the proper spring up that it needed. Wouldn't release. Once I laid it down on its back, gave that a couple kicks to open it up some more, then the jackhammer came right out. Although working and sweating in the yard in the rain, I quickly found that the safety glasses were more of danger than they were helping me out. They were just getting too fogged up, too wet all the time, so I ended up throwing them to the side, but they say safety glasses are number one, but I had to lose them in the rain. I started by testing the jackhammer out on a piece of the wall that had broken off already. So I just stood it up, plugged in the first bit that was there. I went with the sort of wide flat one to start to see how it would work. And right off the bat, I wasn't super impressed with how long it took to crack through this 4 to 6 inch piece of concrete. It took a bit more work than I was expecting it would. It did kind of work though, so I moved on to trying it on the wall itself. I was first hoping that I wouldn't have to dig the wall out and lay it flat, that I could just chop it up in its upright position. But as I got into it, I found that was not going to work. It would just chip away on the left or right side, and the jackhammer would fall away. And it was a lot heavier to lift up the jackhammer than it is to balance it. So this method of taking out the wall from the top down, just not going to work out. So we had to dig out the entire space around the wall and knock the wall over first. I tried switching out the different bits for the jackhammer to a couple different shapes, and I found that this one here is a pointed sort of star shape. This one made much better work of the wall, so I'm thinking that the flat one that I was trying out at first was the wrong one for this type of concrete. If you know what it's for, leave me a comment, I'd love to know. But this one here worked great, and as long as we sort of started about 4 inches apart from each hole to hole, it went through nicely and broke it up into nice manageable chunks. Pushing over the wall was a must, made it much easier to handle the jackhammer and much easier to balance.
Hard to keep it in one spot.
Yeah, that's fine. If it shifts around, that's fine. Just work on the new spot.
Keep going. It'll bust. It'll just there. Put it right there.
Lifting the jackhammer is the hardest part of the whole thing, so if you just let it bounce in the concrete, it pretty much does the work for you. We would get a good section of it broken up, then take a little break and clear out some of the rock before trying again. Once we got the hang of it, it was a pretty easy tool to use. We each took turns just to make sure to give it a shot. It was actually pretty fun. It was a sweaty, wet day, but it actually turned out pretty good, and we took some time to have a little fun with having the tool on hand.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
And with all that fun out of the way, we finished with the wall gone from the backyard. This ended up being quite a new experience for me, and I'm glad I was able to do it. I'm definitely not afraid of renting a jackhammer again in the future because it did the work that it needed to do. I did try doing this wall with just a sledgehammer at first, and after 3 swings and not getting through any headway, I was like, this is not worth it. The jackhammer is the way to go. And I think once you get used to using it, really anyone can manage it. As long as you can balance the jackhammer, you're going to be able to use it. It does get hard if you miss the concrete and you hit the dirt. It'll go right down all the way into the dirt, a good 8 inches or so, and it's hard to pull back out. But otherwise, I thought a jackhammer is something that anyone could use with any skill level. What we did with the concrete we took out, I'm building a shed in the other side of the house, and I decided to use the concrete as fill around the inside perimeter of the floor. This way, critters, raccoons, that things will have a slightly harder time in getting into the shed. If you want to see the video of the shed being built, I'm going to be breaking that up into different pieces, and I have the floor posting already up. I'll put a link to that at the end of the description. Thanks for watching Little Home Projects. I try to make videos of all the household things I have on the go, so if you want to see more, please subscribe.